morning, Alliance community. How we doing out there? Got two of my good friends with me today. TK's on vacation, spending his birthday on the river. I've got Justin Gandy on the other end, and the Appliance King, David Costanzo, fresh off his most professional servicer award-winning venture at Asti. You guys know him. He's been on a few times. What's going on? How you guys doing?
Doing really well, man. Doing great.
Awesome, man. Yeah. Awesome. I'm excited. We got the real Appliance King with us today, man. This guy's got the robe and everything. Like, if anybody saw him at SD, you wouldn't have missed him. Really good dude. Yeah.
There it is. Hey, can you wear the crown during the entire episode?
I don't know where the crown is. So
what? How do you lose the crown?
We're going to go with no.
Oh, man. What's going on, Reggie?
You know it's not below me. I would do it.
Hey, there's no humility here.
That's right.
Reggie, he's recognizes the king. What's up? Andrew,
that's the only thing I ask. Everyone has to recognize the king.
You got to acknowledge your presence.
You just got to acknowledge the king.
Do you prefer your employees to bow down before you in company meetings?
Well, they do. Everyone does.
They just naturally do. You don't even got to ask, do they?
When I walk into the room, it's a requirement.
Kind of like in the military when you got to shout attention on deck.
That's right.
The king is in the room.
That's right. Soon as an officer walks in the door, you better call it.
Man, you got to teach me that.
Yeah, it's funny. You know, I wonder if my dad went through this because it's funny, the whole king thing.
You think he was hazed as well by the entire industry?
I gotta say, from a marketing perspective, I love the concept. It really is catchy.
Yeah. So. For sure. I love it too. It's something you gotta decide whether you're gonna run from it or embrace it, and I took over this brand and had to make that decision, when I took over is, do you embrace something like that or do you run from it? And, I chose to embrace it and, it's fun. I make fun of it, just as much as anyone else does. And I think that's what makes it so attractive,
Oh yeah. Well, before we get started, let's start out with the prayer. Dave, would you mind to do the honors?
Of course. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for bringing us together and bringing us great minds together, and not just the three of us, but everyone that's joined us here today. Lord, I want you to protect us as we focus on our not just our business, but our family life and our life in general. Just we want you to guide us in the right direction, Lord. I think it's easy to try to guide that ship ourselves and try to take control of our direction. But Lord, we ask that you help us give up that control and take us in the direction that you want us to go. As business owners, that can be incredibly tough for us, but we trust in you, Lord, that you're going to take us in the right direction and help us feed our families and not just our families, but those that we lead. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. All right. Well, we've got a good topic on for today, and you guys that have been watching for a while, Friday. We've made it. We've made it to our favorite day. It's not because the weekend is coming. It's not because we've worked hard all week. Ask my team. They know. Not working that hard this week. And it's because it's Ask Us Anything Friday. That is why we all get out of bed on Friday. Not for payday. It's because we want to answer your questions. You ask the questions. We make up the answers. But we're going to start the conversation. David's brought an interesting topic today, and we're interested to see what you guys think. And please drop your comments after you like the episode for the Appliance King. like, and comment. Let us know what you think. Ask your questions. We got the king in the house, the professional, and the fake professional all the way over there wearing a Cubs hat. You can tell he's a fake professional because he's wearing a Cubs hat.
Hey, guys, he's just bitter over that Field of Dreams butt kicking he took. It's all right. It was special, though. It was definitely special for me.
So apparently, Snow didn't notice me roll out of bed this morning, but I did it so stealth-like that he couldn't feel the mattress move. So,
what's up, Saul? Man, that's funny. You guys holding hands, watching the episode usually, right?
That's right.
Yeah, whispering sweet nothings. Hey, what do you want to talk about today, Dave?
Yeah, so I want to drop in there the pros and cons of lead generation services. Honestly, I think a lot of us kind of can come up with a lot of cons. I would like to try to put together some pros. I'm actually going to be leading a laundry room session with the UASA, and I have a whole list of cons, and I would love to kind of use all the great minds in this group to see if we could come up with some pros, because they want me to be more balanced in my approach when I do the laundry room, and I'm having a tough time doing that. So I'm reaching out to you guys to see if maybe you can help us or help me with some pros, and then we'll go through some cons, and would love to get some additional cons out there as well.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Gaspar. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Gaspar?
You got your whole team here now. Not the Appliance King team, but your posse.
We got
South
Florida represented.
Is Gaspar going to be at PSA? Do you know?
He ought to be. He's close enough.
Yeah.
Where is it? Orlando?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, like, when I was in college, I went to college. I even finished. I had to do a speech, an argumentative speech from the opposing point of view. So let's pretend that's what we're doing here today. Let's come up with the pros of something that we may not all agree with. All right. Well, here's a question. I don't know if it's about lead gen. What's the best $1,000 to $2,000 watch to commentate my first year?
I think you mean commemorate.
Yeah.
Soper, is this a personal question to me, bro? You know this.
Yeah.
You got to go with one of these Movados, bro. That's what's up. nice little $1,000 piece to commemorate your first year in business.
Hey, there it is. I missed out. I got the $150 Apple Watch.
That Samsung watch.
Yeah. See, he knew who.
I used to be a watch guy. I used to have. I mean, I still have a bunch of watches, but I ever since I went to the Samsung watch, I've there's no reason to have my watch collection.
That's one of the things me and Soper bonded over at SD. We're both huge watch guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
My thing is hats. I've got a pile of hats. I got hats for every day of the month.
Nice.
I got some favorites. You guys go through the YouTube scroll, looking at all the videos. It's a different hat most days of the week. So for those that don't know what lead gen is, Dave, lead generation is what it stands for. And what are some of the types of lead gen that's out there? And what exactly is it?
Yeah, so you have a lot of offshoots of lead generation services. There's corporate ones like Angie's List or Home Advisor or Yelp, where what they do, Thumbtack, Google Guaranteed. And what they do is you basically pay a flat rate in most cases, or you're bidding on a job, and they collect the customers and distribute it to those who are paying for it. So they're doing the SEO, they're doing the all of the back end work that business owners may not want to deal with, and they are going to present you with a customer or a lead for a customer, and then you're going to pay in return for them doing that work to get you that lead.
Right. And a lot of those, they're not just selling that lead to you, right?
Yeah, depending on the lead gen service, they're gonna farm that out to 3 or 4 different people and see whoever kind of let you fight amongst yourselves, so to speak, depending on the lead gen service. But that's more of the corporate realm, and then you also have different lead gen services like eLocal, or there's a lot of like one-off lead generation service companies. And what they do is they basically the same thing, but they kind of guarantee that it's going to be just your lead in most scenarios. And again, you pay a flat rate for those. You pay a flat rate for those leads. So that's you kind of have the corporate ones, and then you have the one-off ones. And I think there's value in both of them in certain scenarios. Kind of the pros that I've come up with is that they are doing the SEO for you. They are doing the kind of the hard work online to capture those leads. So that's one of the positive things that I found. It's also a shot in the arm. So if you're slow, you got trucks you got to keep busy. You got to keep yourself busy. It can be a very short-term way to capture a few more customers than you had before. I mean, that's honestly, that's kind of the two things that I've come up with that are the positives. And if anyone has any more, can think of any more, I would love to hear it.
Well, I'd say one of the biggest positives that most people probably aren't looking at from a website and SEO perspective. When I started my company, you aren't, and this goes out to any new business owners, because I'm the last person in the world that's going to sit here and endorse lead gen all day. I think it's a great tool to use in the beginning, and as you're building your organic stuff, that's going to add long-term value and website traffic to your website. To, like you said, a shot in the arm. But one of the values that I really think helps is when you're first getting out there. If you're on several of these, so I was on Thumbtack, Home Advisor, Angie's List, Show Me Local, Better Business Bureau. You can brand yourself quickly on multiple platforms and really get your name out there fast with very little investment, to where you can appear like a large, vetted, seasoned business very quickly, to where you can really level the playing field with some of the more established businesses. And that's exactly how I look at it, that you should do, is take advantage of the platform, all the millions of dollars they've spent to create quality profiles. My goal on those platforms was, no matter what, I was only going to get 5-star reviews. If I got any kind of negative review, I was either giving the money back to the customer, or I was trying to find a way to resolve it, because that was all I had from a point of trust, an origin point at that point, because my website was still lost on the second or third page here in Kansas City, in a big metropolitan area.
So that's, Justin, you basically used it to build a customer base. You're building that lifelong customer, giving them a great experience. And then instead of them going back to Angie's List to find their next service provider, they're calling you directly because they've left you a good review. You've probably left a sticker or magnet behind, and then they're calling you directly and foregoing that search as they found you.
Absolutely. Well, and then forward thinking, here we are 5-6 years later. When you Google search my company, there's 50 results that pop up, to where none of my competitors can actually be one of the search results, because I was on all those platforms. And I'm not any longer, but they keep me on there because I I had such good ratings and reviews, it's good for their business. So,
right. That was one of the things I was going to say. And like Saul says, lead gens build your visibility and company awareness. It's building your brand. Now, initially, you're helping their SEO, right? But that was one thing I noticed. Because I'm on Angie, okay, and I'm paying a flat rate per month for advertising. To me, it's a lot like advertising on Google. Like I pay Google, and they have a cost per click, whatever, and people call me. They find me and they call me. So it's not sharing it with everybody else on the Angie list, which is Angie Ads now. When you pull up Appliance Repair Lexington KY, you see EJ's Appliance Repair, and then you see Angie.com, and EJ's is number one in that little description list. Another one I wanted to share that Justin knows about as well. He's one kind of pushed me in this direction. If you do well on these platforms, on these types of platforms, they give you badges, like
yep.
top provider or whatnot. Like I just shared yesterday in Thumbtack. I'm now a top rated pro. I only got 6 5-star reviews on there. So I don't know how, but I'm top rated pro. I haven't seen that they have a badge, but Angie and Home Advisor and some of these others do.
They do have a badge.
So take that badge and put it on your website.
Absolutely.
And like Justin was saying, with building your brand in the beginning, a good website is key. Talk to Mike Carson about what a good website will do, and I'll tell you, David, yours is one of the best I've ever seen. Your website is so cool, man.
It's pretty incredible.
It's awesome, and a lot of it came from the years of experience and building up the content. You don't just get a website like that snapping your finger in your first year. So kudos to you on that. But for the rest of us trying to build a brand, that's some instant credibility when people get on your homepage and they see those badges across saying that, hey, these different corporate businesses put their stamp on this company. That's something I've seen.
That's a great one, man. I even use them on my trucks.
Ooh.
Been Angie's List Super Servicer like 4 years in a row. I mean, then these blogs start approaching you when you get established, and they see that you're the top servicer on all these platforms. And then on blogs, they'll put you as the number one servicer because everybody else has. So then you get even more local business from local blogs. We were issued in a magazine because of it, and I didn't even do anything. I didn't even know they were doing it. It was just because of all the platforms and stuff.
Right. Yeah, and Andrew's right here. They spent millions. It is predatory. We can make a whole week-long series about all the negatives.
Oh yeah.
So we do want to keep that in mind. We're not promoting lead gen services. We're just trying to figure out, for argumentative sakes, what could be some of the positives. So one thing I want to kind of change gears a little bit, but staying in the topic, the different types, and we mentioned the different company names, right? So there's different types of lead gen. Like I mentioned, Angie Ads is more of an advertising, and now one negative with that is I didn't realize it, but I signed a 1-year contract that automatically renews every year. So when I tried to cancel after the first month, they said, "Oh no, you got to pay out your contract or 50% of your contract." So there's a negative to one of the more positive types out there. Now, for those that may not know, which I was, Home Advisor doesn't exist anymore, but they do. They just have a new name, Angie Leads, and that's exactly what lead gen we're talking about. They sell the lead to however many contractors they have, and whoever's the fastest if you're doing one of those, I want to say this. People talk pros and cons of warranty work, right? And what's the most common comment that comes in a positive light about warranty work?
Keeps you busy.
Well, you have to learn how to play the game, right?
Yeah.
I like to say, learn the rules to the game and play accordingly.
Yeah.
Right. When the rules and the game is stacked against you, you have to find how to make it work for you if you're going to play the game. Don't play the game if you don't want to play it. So you're using it for that short-term gain. Get your magnets on the fridges, right? So they call. But if you're in a bidding war or you're selling the lead to 3 or 4 people, how do you win? You got to call right now. Be the first one to call.
Well, and there's also tactics, kind of we talked about in the past where, you can be on some of those platforms where they have an option where you can turn your leads off. The benefit of when you turn your leads off is that they will send you lead opportunities that come. Well, what's different about that is normally when your leads are on, they just send you the lead and you pay for it. It didn't matter what the lead is. When your leads are in the off position, you can actually see what that call is before you pay for it. So I told EJ when he got on Home Advisor, I said, hey, what you want to do is get on there for a few weeks, turn your leads on, and then shut them off like you got busy. And just leave them off. And they're going to send you each lead, and you're going to be able to vet that lead before you pay for it, so you can really control what you're taking in. And that's just like you said, learn how to play the game. Yeah. I was sitting here thinking about the other type of lead gen, and I don't know if it's really called lead gen, which is it's kind of like what Alex does, right? I think there's some huge benefits to that because one of the biggest negatives as lead gen from an SEO standpoint, and I'm sure both of you guys are aware of this, you're redirecting traffic to your website that ultimately pushes you to the top of the search results in Google. And the type of lead gen that Alex does, you're still driving that traffic to your website, but he's providing you resources and help and direction to be able to create some calls in a very quick manner. I think for any new business owner, Alex is a great resource to get a shot in the arm into your business because he's not doing predatory things like some of these big companies are. We all have heard about Home Advisor. I mean, they just got in trouble with the SEC. If anytime you're going to be on Home Advisor, now would be the time to be on Angie's leads because they're being scrutinized, very closely.
Some of the ones have you tried, Dave? You got any tips?
Initially, when I was growing, I tried almost all of the above. I gave a shot to Thumbtack. I was on Home Advisor. I was on Angie's List. I was on kind of all the above, and did the exact same thing that Justin's kind of described and used it to grow the business. But I didn't know the cons at the time, and I found, and as we kind of transition, because I mean, honestly, I found a lot more pros here than I was expecting, so I appreciate that. But when we look at the cons of these lead gen services, I learned a lot of those when I stopped using the lead gen services. There was a lot of the lead gen services that I found were directing to their phone number. So you would have, for example, Home Advisor would create a landing page for Appliance King, and they would put their own company number on, their own phone number, and they would then direct that traffic to you. The problem with that is as soon as you stop paying, that phone number is still theirs, and anyone calling that phone number or they're reusing that phone number onto a different company, now all of a sudden customer thinks they're calling Appliance King and they're calling the company down the street from you. So it's really dangerous, some of those things. And you don't even have an option to buy that phone number or take it over, or anything else. So they've in theory, they've stolen your customer back, because if that customer stores that phone number in their phone, or like we discussed, they end up taking that number and reassigning it to one of your competitors, you're down a boat without a paddle, or down the creek without a paddle. So that's one really predatory thing that I saw. The other really predatory thing I saw is, and this came in a lot of the one-man operations, and I'm not sure how Alex does his lead gen services, but one thing I found in a lot of the one-man operations is they would build their own landing pages and build their own SEO and their own stuff on their own websites. But unfortunately, that was not on your website. So I found a lot of the landing pages that were being built would be direct competitors to your SEO. So when you want your domain authority to lead in the ranking. So you want people, when they type in your name, as much as those 50 other, landing pages from Home Advisor and Angie's List and other things can be helpful. The problem is that those landing pages draw away from your name and draw away from your website. You actually lose domain authority when they type in Appliance King in Boynton Beach. You lose domain authority if they click on anything but your website, because that's Google saying your website wasn't valuable enough for them to click on yours, so they decided to click on somebody else's. The next time somebody searches Appliance King in Boynton Beach, they're going to give the most valuable result, because they want to give their customer, the person that's searching is Google's customer. They want to give them the most valuable result. And if people are clicking on something other than your website, unfortunately, that's going to be the more valuable result. So,
and guys, for anybody that's new in their business, I hope you really took that in, because once you play ball with the devil like that,
yep,
the ability to overcome them as the domain authority with your name is going to take you a long time. Because once you decide to play ball with them for a year or so, they're going to own that name and that domain anytime somebody searches your company name for a long time, until you overcome it SEO wise.
Yeah. Yep. I'll say there's another type, that the most predatory type is one you're starting to talk about, Dave, is the guys that mask themselves as SEO. And hey, we're going to get you all these calls. We're going to build you a website. And now, real SEO will build you a website and get you ranked. But so you got to watch the ones. Like, how do you see the ones that are charging per lead instead of charging for their service? They make more as you make more, like that. It sounds fair, right? But they're the ones that's building a website, and it's might be kind of yours, but it's not. It's kind of masked as yours. They might have one that says, "Hey, appliance repair LexingtonKY.com," and you open it and it all just looks generic. Everything, there's nothing personal in there. It's got some random phone number, and it rings to you, but it's their business there. So
and it's not just the website, but they'll build Google My Business pages. They'll build out on Angie's List. They'll build out on, they'll make fake profiles everywhere in your area. And that is the root of all these fake businesses on Google My Business and all of these other platforms.
Absolutely.
So you're literally feeding this beast and causing, as soon as you stop paying for this stuff, those leads are going to your competitor. And as soon as that happens and those leads start going to your competitor, you're done. I mean, you're then fighting that from there out. So, it's it's an uphill battle when you stop using the services and you find that it's something that you have to constantly stay ahead of.
Well, and I would go further to even say, look, I'm third generation doing this. I got 30 members of my family across the United States that do this and have been doing it for generations. You know, the one thing that you guys as new business owners should be doing is setting money aside for website and SEO. It's the single most important thing to build your company. And these lead gens and stuff like this that they're talking about, you are not really an entrepreneur, so to speak, fully on your own by doing that. You're a hamster on a wheel that will never stop turning. If you are in this for the long-term play to build a company brand, you know, support your family forever and hopefully build a self-sustaining business, you can't get into this thinking, well, you know, I only got $1,000, so I'm just going to do this lead gen. You know, that's okay if that's just a temporary solution to building up funds to be able to build a website, but don't just give up on that idea. The website, I mean, I'm sure each one of these guys can tell you, I haven't paid for advertising in a year since COVID hit, because we're so busy with repeat business and organic business that I'm pulling off Google. Now I will have slow days where I turn on Thumbtack or I run Google ads for a little bit, but the percentage of money that I have going out compared to when I started my company is minuscule when it comes to marketing. Now it's going into HR services, providing trucks and health insurance for my employees. I haven't eliminated that cost. I've only redirected it to reinvest in my people.
So let's talk about price there for a minute. We're talking about cost and advertising, right? So there's different ranges of costs for these leads. Like I'd say one of the lowest be like Thumbtack. Thumbtack types, they're like $9-10, right? When I'm on Angie Leads, it's $13 to $42, depending on what it is. And if somebody clicked on a service, whether it was right or not, you're paying for it. It may be installing a dishwasher, $32, and you don't install dishwashers, but they clicked under appliance repair, and you do appliance repair. You're paying that $32. You can dispute it, you know, whatnot, but a lot of the actual lead gens, like the predatory stuff that's not as corporate, I've seen them between $35 and $99 per lead. Say, you know, you charge what you want, we get the first $75, and you know we're gonna book you a lead for $100 service charge. Well, you might have made $25. You know, you're gonna drive, and if you don't sell the job, you might not get it. You charge what you want after, but you're paying an awful lot. Now, there is some value in that because you didn't have to do the SEO, right? But you're paying for somebody else's efforts. What do you guys think is an average cost per lead for Google Ads for your own business?
On Google AdWords, so you have two different ones. You have Google Guaranteed and you have Google AdWords.
Yeah.
Currently on AdWords, our cost per lead is about $16 to $17. On Google Guaranteed, we're at $25 per delivered lead, and that's pretty standard, I would say. Google AdWords, I think, has a lot more. It takes a little bit more to learn and takes a little bit more to kind of find your niche. But once you do it, it drives the cost per lead down, which is ultimately what you want. You want those costs for those leads as low as you possibly can.
Yeah.
And those leads you're referring to, that's probably the highest quality lead you can get, right? Because
they're yours.
Google Guaranteed is actually people actually searching for you. You get what you pay for in that situation. I was just looking at our average cost per service call that we render, and it's about 16, 17 bucks. High end is about $22 to $23, related to Google AdWords if you factor in everything.
Yeah. My average on Google Guaranteed is 13-ish, and I think I'm probably in that same range for delivered leads. I paid more attention to the cost per click, but yeah, that's good averages, and the benefit is it's yours. And I'll say, as far as like Google Guaranteed or Google Ads, you're at the very top of the page. You know, if you got the best ad. If you don't, they might put you down there somewhere in the middle, below your organic if you're doing really good organically. But if you're going to pay for the lead, do it where it puts you right on the very top. But the end goal is number one, organic, which is work that you've already paid for, and now you get to reap the benefits, like these guys are talking about, turning your leads off, and you're still getting work because you got referrals and they're finding you naturally because you're at the top of the page. Or the map pack, right? Yeah. And if you get in the top 3 of the map pack, it catches people's eyes. Gasper has a question. It's kind of off topic, but that's what we do. Ask us anything. We make up the answers, Gasper. It may or may not be the truth, but we're going to tell you. I got to say, this guy's probably biased. We might be too, but he says, if I have to choose one, PSA or ASTI. He's talking about National Appliance Conventions. And I'll tell you, they're not the same. They got kind of a different angle on both of them. But I'm going to let Dave answer.
I mean, he said I'm biased, and I'm a board member for the United Appliance Services Association, who puts on ASTI. I've never been to a PSA, so I can't give an honest opinion on PSA. Honestly, I was thinking about going to a PSA just to see what their value was. You know, I don't talk bad about anything else, any other organization. I'm sure there's some value in PSA, and I'd love to hear from people that have been there what that value is. But just because I like to hang out with all you guys, I would choose ASTI. Gaspari, I'd love to hang out with you for the week. So I think you should choose ASTI.
So my answer would be, look, I've been to both. ASTI, I went by myself with my business partner so we do HVAC too, and I have a business partner on the HVAC side. I own the appliance repair side outright, but I have a business partner on the HVAC side. He came with me to ASTI to experience it for the first time. For business owners, anybody getting ready to go out on their own, ASTI is a unbelievable resource to where you can learn about how to grow your business, meet with other business owners. PSA is really driven to the technician in the company. So for PSA, I'm actually bringing my service techs with me to PSA because they have a lot of more in-depth technical classes. It's not, approaching your guys about how to start their own company, which I actually like as a business owner. I don't want to take all my guys to ASTI to where they feel like, hey, this is an easy path to go out on my own. You know what I mean? I'm not also saying, look, I've had guys work for me that I've embraced them to go out on their own because they worked for me a long time, and that was kind of the next phase in their life, and I totally supported that. But I don't like it being pushed in my face when I'm, taking my guys to an event in Florida and paying that much money that, hey, this is a great way for you to go out on your own. You know what I mean?
Hey, Justin, a question. Had you been before to ASTI, or was this past year your first one?
First one, and it was awesome.
One thing I'll say, I know it was awesome, especially as a business owner. We lost a lot of our corporate sponsors who happen to do a lot of the training because of COVID. We had like a uptick in, we had an uptick in COVID right before our convention started. And we lost Samsung, we lost GE, so it is usually more tech focus than what you saw.
Okay.
So I think in your next ASTI, I think you'll get a better look at how that goes. And because of that, the techs have more classes to go to, which keeps them out of the business classes and kind of keeps that separation a little bit more. And those that have gone to more than last year can vouch for that. And by the way, everybody that goes signs something saying that they're not going to be predatory against, your technicians. So that's something to think about as well. But I totally get everybody gets that glamour that owning your own business is better than being a technician. And I can totally see how that can come off that way in any of these conventions. And it's something that we constantly try to avoid.
Good answer. Good answer. That's a good clarification there. I've only been to ASTI. It was only this year. Best one I've ever been to. I can't imagine anything better. I'd love to go to PSA as well. I probably won't be there this year unless something big happens. But Justin will be there. If you're looking for Alliance team members there, Justin will be there. Say hey, share a drink, whatever.
Mike Carson will be there.
He don't drink pop anymore, so don't buy him a soft drink. Saul, question for you, for us. What can business owners do to protect themselves from predatory lead gens? Do you suggest burner phones or sub websites just for lead gens? If any of that even helps, they find you.
Yeah, the best way is not to use them.
Can't prevent them from calling.
Yeah, if you look at some of the different lead gen services, there are ones that build and promote your brand, and then there's ones that build and promote their brand. I would say ones like Angie's List, or ones that do give you badges and do give you a profile, and it does stay yours when it's done. Those are the only ones I would even touch if I had to. Google AdWords, Google Guaranteed. They truly are advertising your brand, your business, and not going predatory on you. So I would encourage you to not use the predatory ones at all, because the other thing that we haven't talked about is how much they dilute our industry. They are literally taking our advertising, not just advertising dollars, but they're taking a portion of every job that we go on if you're using them. So you're immediately diluting our industry. If nobody used lead gen services and it wasn't used at all, we would all make more money on our service calls, because nobody else was taking there's no middleman. You're cutting out the middleman. And, it's our job as an industry to really work hard to cut out that middleman. And as much as there is positives, at the end of the day, by feeding these, what we call stray cats, you're going to have a lot of cats running around. So
you are not lying, brother. I mean, I started back when it was just Yellow Pages. And you didn't have any of these issues. It was a lot there's a lot more bigger small businesses, family-owned businesses with 6, 7, 8, 9 techs. And now you see a huge trend where it's a one-man shows. It's either one-man shows or big companies, because you can't survive with 3 or 4 guys anymore. Financially, with 3 or 4 guys, you're making less money than you are just being on your own. That's why guys don't want to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. What else? What else is out there? Have we dried the well?
Gaspari, are you going to go to PSA or ASTI? Let's hear it.
Did we sell you? Where are you going? Gaspar? He said, I'm going to go to all of them. All of them. We met him we got to meet him personally at the Encompass event.
Yeah.
Encompass hosted that event in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Gaspar brought little Mikey with him, the heir apparent, the appliance prince.
Now, did he go to SD and we just didn't know him yet at that time?
Maybe.
Yeah.
He's going to ASTI.
Nice.
So, don't take it from us. If you want to listen to Gasper, he's going to go to ASTI. Go to PSA if you want. I recommend go to as many as you can. I mean,
I'm going to
it's like we talk about with training, right? We ran a poll. Who's the best training company around? Check them all out. You know, pick one that you like. Go to another one. See what else you can learn. I'm an advocate for learning.
Well, and the other part of it too is the value of the networking opportunities is amazing too. I mean, God, who hasn't gotten better just from being part of this community and being able to reach out and ask somebody, you know, like the Appliance King guy here, you know, if you're a smaller business, that's a great resource to reach out to and ask this guy. His family's been in this for generations too. He's grown up around it. So
yeah. Maurice is ready to go get his butt beat again today. What are you struggling with, Maurice? Holler at us. You need tech support. David does that for free. I'm gonna post his phone number in the comments, and you guys can call him for free. I don't have his phone number yet, so don't be looking for that. Gasper, man, we love you, Gasper. We need you on again. We had him on with Saul. Boy, I just opened it up. I said, y'all bring the word. Y'all bring the word. I'm two men of God that believe and doing the right thing. Same here with the King. You guys are welcome on anytime. Justin, you're okay. I mean,
so I actually wanted to ask David a question. You took over a company that your dad built, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was some of the biggest challenges that you faced when taking over the business? Did you always feel like you were in your father's shadow in the beginning?
So
and what are some of the biggest successes for you as far as personal growth or business wise?
I had a very interesting start to my appliance career when I jumped in. I had one technician who had no driver's license. That's what I was handed. At one time my dad did have 10 trucks and 30 employees, but he was getting ready to retire. So he was downsizing to it was just himself when he passed away.
Gotcha.
Because my dad passed away and it wasn't just a handoff, so to speak, I found my mom took over the company. She was going to sell the company. I gave a little bit of this story before. And when she was going to sell the company, I sat her down and said, what are you doing? You can run this company. You've done it from the back office for years. What I found more than anything was exactly what my mom found. I found it was therapy. Because every customer that I went to talked highly of my dad and our family and the business. And it really helped me cope with what happened and helped me get beyond it. So I found it to be incredibly therapeutic and helped me get over the loss of my dad, and also really grew my love and my gratitude for this industry, because it's done a lot for me.
that's an awesome story too.
That is, man.
Where you came from and how you appreciate it. We was talking yesterday with a guy in the HVAC industry, and we kind of had a similar story. Not taking over our dad's business, but coping through loss with our repair career. And mine, I was a maintenance supervisor, industrial maintenance and factories and whatnot, and just not really going anywhere, just doing my job and coming home. And my dad passed in 2018, and it checked me. I went into a depression, and I started like checking myself, like, who am I? If this can happen like that, who am I? Like, what am I doing? What are people going to remember me by? And hearing you get to experience that through your dad's customers, how they remember him, that's the kind of thing that I saw in my dad. And I just wanted to do something that helped. And I fell into appliance repair. I didn't really seek it out. I started doing it to flip and make some extra money to get out of the situation I was in. And I fell in love with it. I always liked in repair, fixing things and helping people. And instead of fixing things and helping a corporation, I get to help people, real people. And it channels that for me, and it just helps me to feel better about the man I am and the life I live. So I can really relate and feel what you're saying, man. I don't mean to drag it down anymore, but
no. But I mean, I think it's so cool that his dad lives on through his business. I mean, the fact that he gets to go into service calls, and he's probably got customers that have stories about his dad, and he's like,
it's incredible.
Yeah, that's got to be cool.
It's so cool. I mean, there was a customer that literally cut out my dad's obituary and taped it to his dryer.
I mean, really?
Like that's, I mean, there was stuff that happened afterwards that, was definitely God leading me to where I needed to be at that moment. And it was pretty incredible. Some of the stuff that I saw and the stories I heard. And I mean, I had customers that remembered when my dad would carry me literally in a car carrier into service calls. I had customers telling me stories about how my dad took them in during the hurricane. They actually stayed in our home during the hurricane because they were living in a house that was not hurricane ready. Just some of the stories were, I mean, and I didn't know any of these, it was just so cool.
Man, salute to your dad. Great guy. Change of topic here. We have another question. BNI. This is another source of referrals. This is legitimate. If you guys don't know what BNI is, it stands for Business Networking International. It's a networking group of business leaders in your community. They have one for each industry, and you meet once a week. You chat about, you get to give a little pitch about your business. Everybody goes around. You get to know each other. You have one-on-one meetings, just building relationships in the community. And then as you're out and about, each person has all of this mental Rolodex of people. It's like the mob movies. I got a guy. I know a guy that knows a guy. People are out there advocating for you. And the cost of membership, I mean, I've tripled my return in 2 months. I've been in the BNI. It's been about 3 months now. Are you guys in BNI?
No.
You ever?
Never been in, but always kind of thought about it. And, I do think it's a great place to spread your knowledge. And I also think it's almost like a mini ASTI every time you go. Like, you get to network with other business owners and find out what works for them and what doesn't, more on a local level, and also more on, lead generation and, how you can locally grow your business.
So my wife and I were involved in a BNI group for a while, and it's all about what you want to get out of it. For networking opportunities, for building your brand, it's a great opportunity. I will say, for our industry, if you're in one of these in a major metropolitan area, the cost can exceed what you get back out of it, because most of those business owners, one sale is a big ticket item. We're talking about realtors and those type of things. For it to be worth it for you, actually, as a customer referral base, you have to get a lot of leads to make it worth the money. But if you go into it realizing that's not what you're there for, You're there to make some connections who might be able to, you know, I got a lot of property managers from my B&I group. But it got to a point where I couldn't commit to that once a week.
Yeah. What was the cost of yours?
It was like $2,500 a year.
Ouch. Yeah, I'd have a hard time swallowing that. Mine was $700.
Yeah.
So I mean, $700. How many jobs do I got to sell? That's the way I look at it. I've shared that with you guys. How many jobs do I have to sell, close, in order to make my money back? Like, we talk about cost of doing business, and you know what's the average? What's your average ticket value worth? That's including the ones you don't sell, where you just go and pick up your service charge. What's your average? So you think, how many do I have to get to pay that off?
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's like 3. You know, 1 really good one, 5 bad ones. You know, okay, I'm good with that. But it is a commitment. Andrew says it's helped him learn to speak in the professional arena. Yeah, if you ever find yourself in a conversation where somebody said, "Hey, what do you do?" and you don't really know how to answer it other than appliance repair, HVAC, I'm a plumber, give a pitch. You'll learn how to give your pitch and talk to other people. I think it's worth it for me right now. I've moved my business into the Lexington metro area. It's helping me get credibility and a network in the city that I don't know anybody in. So shout out to David. He didn't want to wait till you got home tonight. You're set for greatness, brother. Never forget to keep God first and let him lead your business.
Amen.
I believe that's how he's done it. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Saul.
We're coming up on the hour, guys. Do you have any closing comments?
No, I mean, just thank you for your help. I mean, I have all my notes now for the laundry room, and I'm ready to ready to go. I appreciate honestly all the pros. I didn't because of my negative outlook on lead gens. I had trouble with the pros, but you know, I think there was some in there, and I appreciate everybody and everybody's contributions to the industry. Just jumping on this call is not just helping us connect better with God, but it's helping us connect better with our industry and the people in it. So I appreciate you guys being there.
Well, thank you. Have we given you enough pros to consider lead gen
now? No, I don't think so. But it's there if we ever really needed it. And I think that there was some pros that I was overlooking. So,
man.
Yeah.
Justin?
So, when is SD again? I'm not trying to make you do a promotional thing about it, but when is it again? In San Antonio, November?
Early February.
It is in February.
Well, I look forward to seeing you there for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, it's.
I might even. I mean, Orlando's not too far from me. I might even pop up there and say hi to y'all.
That'll work, definitely.
I'd love to see what they do.
For sure. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to have you on. I honestly have meant to. I've reached out to you a couple times because I wanted to have some, just have some conversations about business and life and whatever. Just because I really did respect the heck out of you at SD, and a lot of the comments you made, it was obvious that you care about the people that you employ, and unfortunately, that's a rare thing in this world nowadays. CSRs and technicians are sometimes looked at as a dollar figure and not as a person. And I think it's something that you have to work-life balance constantly as a business owner is, I want to be here for this person as a person first and hopefully inspire them as a leader. So you really, I have to say, you inspired me at ASD.
Thanks, Justin. I appreciate that.
Yep.
So he mentioned laundry room. If you don't know what the laundry room is, go to unitedservicers.com. Go ahead and purchase the membership. There's lots of good things inside UASA. It's United Appliance Servicers Association, including discount to ASTI. ASTI's the National Service Convention for Appliance Repair. Big time, big fun. The laundry room is it weekly or bi-weekly?
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly Zoom meeting. They have different presenters from the industry that come in, experts like David here, and they bring different topics similar to what we do, just bringing different people from the industry. So we definitely want to support and help elevate the industry by promoting United Servicers Association, UASA, and ASTI. Check them out. They're doing big things for much longer than us, and check that out. It's worth it. PSA, I think that's psa.org, maybe. Check that out too. Look at all of them, but we can speak personally for ASTI and UASA, top rate. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned back in for Monday morning as we continue the morning grind. Starting your week off and your mornings with positivity, chatting Bible and business. Thank you all.
Stay safe out there, boys.
Have
Thanks,
a great
guys.
weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Dave.
All right.